Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Alexandr, also known as Xandrevets.
And my name is Iurii, also known as Terlord.
Together, we are going to present an edited video about an old-school FPS game called Doom 64 that we played on Steam. We have decided to split and highlight different aspects about this game. First, we are going to mention things that makes this game different from Doom 1 and Doom Hell on Earth. Second aspect that we are going to highlight is performance-based peculiarities. The third aspect that I, Alexandr, and my brother Iurii are going to mention is our personal opinion about this game. Mainly things that we liked or didn't, and things that were confusing. We each have our own opinion, so those who wish to hear both sides before making a decision are going to find this part most interesting. Especially because my brother Iurii played it already in the past. In the conclusion, we are going to say how do we feel about this game in general and some closing words.
As always, we would like to emphasize the fact that this is our own subjective opinion, which we are sharing with you, the viewers. And we do not insist on a particular course of action. You are free to either agree or disagree with anything that is going to be said and shown here. We will try our best and specify all the information that you need to know as informative and at the same time as concise as possible. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about different things that make Doom 64 unique compared to Doom 1 and Doom Hell on Earth.
The thing that draws your attention immediately when you just pop up the game and start playing it, a lot of HUD elements are absent from Doom 1 and Doom Hell on Earth. For instance, number for weapons, total number of bullets, shells, rockets and cells. Doom Guy's face is also missing. For some of you this could be bad or good. We have not done a thorough research to find out a specific reason behind it. We have come to an agreement that this feature has a direct influence on your gameplay, particularly for those who are trying to shoot enemies that are standing below you. You will be able to see more parts of their bodies, but remember that this game does not allow you to look up or down. Instead, you will have an auto-aim system that functions when you get close enough to your adversaries, thus allowing you to rely on it even when you need to shoot up or down. I, Alexandr, am going to say what do I personally think about missing HUD elements later. For now, we will also going to point out that not only your gameplay will be quote-unquote touched by it, but also an aesthetic aspect is pretty much quote-unquote opens up for everyone. You can see more details on the screen, on the stage, as well as the stage itself. There is one thing which we agreed upon as a negative trait from an aesthetic point of view, and that is the absence of the super shotgun reloading animation. Perhaps it was due to the engine limitation, but nonetheless we are putting it to the negative side of things.
Since we have mentioned aesthetic sides, let's discuss weapon design. For those who have played Doom and Doom Hell on Earth, you will see that the chainsaw, plasma gun, and rocket launcher design have been changed. They have the same sound, and gameplay-wise their damage or total number of ammunition stayed the same. However, for us, they were still feeling unique and fresh. Speaking of the weapon, which is a new addition to your arsenal, behold, ladies and gentlemen, the Unmaker. This is definitely a unique tool, not only aesthetically, but gameplay-wise also. It uses cells like Plasma Gun and EFG 9000, but unlike them, it shoots red lasers at your foes. One thing we did not know when we were playing this game is the fact that you can upgrade this weapon 3 times and increase its rate of fire, its damage, and its spread effect. Even without those upgrades, this weapon is another unique feature that inspired us to pick it up and use it over plasma gun, since it does more damage, even without upgrades. The name itself, Unmaker, and its design indicates that this is a definitely weapon created by demons, which is intriguing considering the fact that Doom Eternal has the same name for a different weapon, which is also a demonic tool. Subjectively, the only part that was a letdown for this weapon for us was the sound. We are not fond of laser weapons which sound like baby toy gun, but if you find this sound funny and hilarious, then feel free to use this as much as you want.
When it comes to enemies that are missing from Doom 64, were excluded Chain Gunners, Revenants and Archviles. However, developers have added new ones, as well as redesigned older types of familiar opponents. From regular zombie-mans or troopers, all the way to the Cyber Demon. Everyone has a unique look from an aesthetic point of view. We think that this only motivates a player to play this version all the way till the end, because encountering familiar, but at the same time fresh quote-unquote faces creates unique atmosphere for this game. New enemy type have their own key traits, which are worth to talk about. We are talking about Nightmare Imps. They are a faster, more aggressive version of regular imps. They have their own color scheme, and they are throwing at your main character purple projectiles that are flying faster and does more damage compared to regular fireball from imp. Additionally, they have slightly more health, but we think that their defining trait is their speed rather than damage, as well as their ability to be barely visible in darker rooms. For some reason, behavior of two more enemies have changed to a more aggressive style. Lost Souls are faster than before, and they have more quote-unquote attack speed when biting your main character down. Pain Elementals are constantly creating lost souls as soon as they spotted your movement. Additionally, from a aesthetic point of view, Pain Elementals in this game looks way different compared to Doom 1 and Doom Hell on Earth. Personally, we think this is a good addition to throw experienced players from their comfort zone and make them learn new patterns to be as effective as possible in battle.
Unlike Doom and Doom 2, Hell on Earth, such enemies like Zombie Man and Shotgunner in Doom 64 will look pretty much identical. The only way to distinguish one from another is by hearing sound effects of their shots and damage that you will be receiving. In our personal opinion, this is a slight disadvantage, not just from the visual point of view, but as well as from the gameplay perspective. Especially considering the fact that every other enemy in this game is easily distinguishable. When it comes to bosses, Doom 64 yet again makes some interesting changes. We all know that Doom 1 and Doom 2 had such bosses like Cyber Demon, Spider Mastermind, and Icon of Sin. Here, however, you will be seeing only Cyber Demon, as well as the new boss that is called Mother Demon. This boss is going to have a unique design, as well as some never-before-seen attacks that will challenge those who had never played this game before. Another aspect that is worth mentioning is puzzles. They are not going to require from you to find a quote-unquote scientific approach to solve them, and you are not going to encounter them that often. However, those that are present in some stages will definitely going to quote-unquote freshen up your typical FPS gameplay for finding the right solution before you will advance further into the story. And we are not talking about the search for a colored key or locating necessary switch to open a pathway. We are not going to spoil them for you, so that is going to be a pleasant surprise for those who have not played this game already. Overall, we think that changes to the already existing weapons, enemies, be it gameplay-wise or aesthetic-wise, as well as an addition of new weapon, enemy, and boss made Doom 64 a great addition to Doom franchise. that can be appreciated by both newcomers and old-school gamers. It is not simply a Doom game ported to a different system, but a well-thought and carefully designed project.
When it comes to trying to launch and play old-school games on modern systems, players are usually facing some issues. Either the game that they want to play will simply not launch, or the game will require some additional software, or the graphics are going to be way too pixelated due to older games not supporting modern resolutions and scaling. However, when it comes to Doom 64 2020 version, none of those mentioned issues are present here. The game was updated to be played without any third-party programs. It features full controller support, resolution scaling up to 4K, some online features have been added, as well as some never-before-seen content in form of Lost Levels campaign. Throughout our walkthrough, we have not seen any game-breaking bugs or glitches. Everything sounded great, played nicely, and felt pretty good. The only complaint that we had has to do with occasional slowdowns of the game that were not critical gameplay-wise, but easily noticeable. Those slowdowns are a rare occurrence and have to do mostly with the fact that Doom 64 has a very old game engine that was not updated in years when it comes to quote-unquote running always with high frame rate. Once again, this is not critical to the gameplay experience at all, and high frame rate is a subjective opinion to anyone. You will see our gameplay footage and decide if you like it or not.
When it comes to should you buy this game or not, I can only give you our personal opinion about it. Final choice is going to be on your side. If you are a hardcore FPS genre gamer, or you like ID Software games in general, you probably have acquired this game already. But what about those newcomers who are still doubting? Well, it all comes down to a fact whether or not do you enjoy that old school games genre, and how well you can cope with how those games used to be played and how they look like. From my perspective, since I played both Nintendo 64 version of Doom 64 as well as its new updated version, new one is just as good and even better than the old one. Those quality of life changes provides you to play Doom 64 on your modern equipment. Core gameplay mechanics, sound effects are still there, with some improvements added into the mix. For its price of $5, Doom 64 provides you with a good portion of content and replayability. Lost Levels chapter expands the main game, adding several more hours to the main game itself. Secrets, collectibles, secret levels, challenges, everything is present here. I personally had just as much fun and enjoyment replaying this modernized Doom 64 as I did when I played the original one for the first time. Overall, this game does indeed deserve to be played by not only old school fans, by newcomers as well, since you are missing on a great game.
From my point of view, I am going to mention specific stuff that for me felt confusing, great or disappointing. The level design is pretty good and on par with Doom 1 and Doom Hell on Earth. Yes, this game for me had more backtracking, however there wasn't any point in the mission where I felt lost. Mainly because you are going to encounter quite often enemies that will appear via teleportation when you collect the key item or press the necessary trigger in those areas that you visited earlier. This is a useful indicator which signifies that you are on the right track, compared to Doom 1 and Doom Hell on Earth, where sometimes you was going through empty corridors full of dead bodies of your foes with the key item in hand, in an attempt to recall where exactly you're supposed to be heading. Things that felt confusing for me was the absence of two key elements from HUD display, such as Doom Guy's face and total number of rockets, shells, cells and bullets. Since this is a quote-unquote modernized version, they should have at least created the option to toggle on and off those HUD elements that are present in other installments. I relied on them quite often, especially in harder encounters, So for me, it's not necessarily a negative part, but rather confusing one. Now, from the negative point of view, I did not like the fact that they nerfed the damage on the BFG 9000. Perhaps it was done for the purpose of motivating players to use Unmaker in favor of it. But on third difficulty, that is called I Own Doom, it takes 3 shots from the BFG 9000 to kill 1 Baron of Hell. This is unacceptable in my opinion. Probably damage scaling depends on the distance, however, I did not test this thing in this game by myself. Another disappointing thing that is the new final boss. Aesthetically, it looks good. Gameplay-wise, he was a letdown, and without spoiling too much, I can say that he has only one dangerous attack, which you can easily avoid, and his overall tankiness and damage was nowhere near as close compared to Spider Mastermind. I want to finish up expressing my opinion on the positive side of things, rather than on negative one. Traps that are shooting projectiles at you and that forces you to move around them for getting out of danger or collecting key item is a mechanic that I enjoyed and find its usage to be the thing that once again feels fresh in those quote-unquote meaty FPS games. Personally, I will recommend this game for people to buy and play it, but only after you have bought, played and completed Doom 1 and Doom 2 Hell on Earth. From my point of view, this game is at its strongest point when you see the contrast between several versions with unique features added, and if you want to have a similar but fresh experience, because for $5, Doom 64 has good amounts of content and it is worth your time and money, but I still think that your first acquaintance with old school Doom games should start with Doom 1 and Doom Hell on Earth. With that out of the way, let's move on to the conclusion. We think that now, with the help of this video, you will determine what kind of the game Doom 64 is, and whether you will give this game a try or not. Everything that has been said in this video was our subjective opinion, and you had the opportunity to hear both sides before you can make your own decision. We tried to share our thoughts as well as shed some light on the stuff that was worth to discuss. On that note, we would like to thank anyone for watching this video. Post your comments in the comment section and tell us if you like this style of quote-unquote analysis from both sides, and do you want to see more of it in the future.
Additionally, leave a like, share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this content and you want to see more of it, if you wish to be always up to date with our future projects, consider following us on social media pages, Twitter or Facebook. The choice is yours. Also, consider supporting us directly via donation to us by clicking on our Streamlabs donation link or by visiting our Patreon page, where you will be awarded with different perks and bonuses, like early access to edited videos, Q&A videos, or behind-the-scenes stuff. Your help is always appreciated and motivates us to create more videos and improve visual, audio, special effect aspects. With that said, we will see you all in the next videos. Take care!